This conference will now be recorded.
Just a second. So, today's topic is recursion, and we will discuss these topics, the subtopics under recursion: function, then pointer, okay, then call by value, call by reference, and then finally we will see recursion. Okay. So let us start with function. Okay, can you see slide? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is a function? You know the definition. A function in C is defined as a block of statements that performs a specific task. Okay, and you can say a function works on some input, and then it do some computation on it, and then it produces a output. Okay, so what are three components of a function? It takes some input. Remember this thing. Okay, then it performs some computation on that input, and then it produces a output. For example, if you want to make a function for adding two integers, okay, and function name is sum, then that sum will take input as a two integers, okay, then it will do some computation on it, that is it will add these two numbers, and then it will produce a sum of these two numbers, so that is output. So these are the components of a function: input, then it do computation, and then it produces output. Remember this thing. Now what is the need of a function in C programming? Okay, this is the first need. You can group together the common code which is related to a task. Okay, for example, if you want to calculate area of a circle, then that code related to the area will be grouped together and will be kept under the definition of a function. That is first need of a function, to keep common code related to a task together. And this is the second need. Okay, instead of writing same code again and again for different inputs, you write the code once in a function and then you call that function repeatedly. Okay, this is second code. This is a concept of reusability here. Okay, you write a function once and then you can call it 100 times in your program. For example, you have called printf function, that is a standard library function, and you call printf several times in your program. Okay, you don't write the code for printf again and again. The definition of printf is stored in its header file stdio.h. Okay, so you just call printf as many as times you need it. So this is the second requirement. Okay, now this is the second need of function. Now let's go to next slide. Here you will study types of functions. Okay, you know there are two types of functions in C.
Sir,
First one is, yes
सर एक बार पिछली स्लाइड पे जाएंगे सर, स्क्रीनशॉट नहीं लिया.
okay, take the screenshot. Done.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now we are going for types of functions here. Okay, two types of functions are there in C. First one is library function and second is user defined function. Okay, we'll see both of these one by one. First is library function. You know the standard built-in function which are in C programming are known as library functions. Okay, for example, printf, scanf, square root, power function, string copy, clear screen, these all are standard library functions. Okay, there are some other function, you know, like getch. Okay, then main function. These are all what? These are library functions. Okay, so their definition is stored in their header files. Okay, remember one thing: these functions are defined and stored in header files. Okay, just like you can say printf and scanf are stored in standard input output.h, standard input output header file. Square root and power function are stored in math.h header file. String copy is stored in string.h header file. Clear screen is stored in cooling.h file. Okay, console input output. Okay, we have not seen this header file till now, string.h. After this topic, we will go for strings, in which you will use string.h header file. There are several functions for manipulating a string, like string copy, string concatenation, string length find करने के लिए. ठीक है, there are several functions whose definition is stored in string.h. These are all header files and these are standard library functions. Now second category is user defined function. Okay, those functions which are created by the user as per their need, okay, to solve their specific problems that are known as user-defined functions. For example, you can make a function to calculate sum of two integers. You can make a function to calculate area of a rectangle or area of a circle. You can make a function to calculate salary of employees in an organization. You can make a function to calculate factorial of a number. You can make a function to find largest number in an array. Okay, so these are as per user's need. These functions will be defined as per user need. Okay, so these are known as user-defined functions. Okay, you can take screenshot now. Then we will go to next slide. Okay, so let's go to next slide. We will see user-defined functions. Okay, library functions are stored in header files and they are already defined in header files. Okay, so there is no need to discuss them. Then you just call them in your program. Okay, what we have to discuss now, that is user-defined functions. We have to declare them, we have to define them, and then we have to call them. Okay, so there are three steps for a user-defined function in C program. What are these three steps? First one is function declaration. Second is function definition, and third is function call. Right? After when you try to make a user-defined function and when you utilize these, you have to go through all these three steps. Okay, so let us see these three steps one by one. First is function declaration. What is the syntax for function declaration? Okay, this is the syntax. You write data type, then you write function name, and you write here arguments. Okay, arguments are just like input component of a function. Okay, what kind of input you want to take, that are known as arguments. Okay, data type means what you want to return. This is just a output component of your function. Okay, if you want to return an integer, then you will write here int. For example, this function declaration. Here sum is a function name. It will work upon these three inputs, and all three inputs are of type integers. And then after calculating sum of these integers, it will return a value that will also a type of integer. So that is its return type int here. Okay, so see, these are three components. Okay, these are input, this is output, and after computation it will produce this int. Now see the second part, function definition. Okay, for defining a function, you must write data type, then again function name, and then here you will write a formal arguments. Okay, we will see what are formal arguments and what are actual arguments. Just ignore right now. Then after the opening curly brace, you will write the computation code for this function. Okay, this is the computation part here. Okay, you will do some computation on these inputs, and then you will return a value to the function. Okay, that should match this data type. This is second part, function definition. See the syntax carefully. Okay, now next is function call. Okay, when you call a function, you have to just write function name, and then you have to write here actual arguments. Okay, we will see with example what are formal arguments and what are actual arguments now. Okay, so for example, if you want to call this function sum, you have to just write here sum, and then you have to pass here actual arguments just like a, b, c. So this is function call. During function call, you don't write data type. Remember this thing, you don't write here data type. Okay? But during definition and during declaration, data type is compulsory. You have to write here. So these are three parts. Now we will see an example of user-defined function for this prototype int sum int triple int here. Okay, so two header files are included: standard input output and console input output. Okay, after this, see, this is function declaration. Okay, this is marked here in red color. Okay, so that you can identify it clearly. Okay, this is function declaration, and function declaration is to be done outside main function. After this, you start main function from where the execution of your program starts. Okay. Suppose you have declared three variables, a, b, c, whose sum you want to calculate, and then s is the variable for storing sum of these variables. Okay, a, b, and c. Now you have written a statement printf, enter three numbers. Okay, using scanf function, you will take input from the keyboard. After this, see, this is function call here. Okay, this is in blue color. Here you have written s equal to sum a comma b comma c. Now these are actual arguments, because what are the actual variables whose sum you want to calculate? A, B, and C. So during call, you have to write here actual arguments. C is its prototype here, function name, and then actual arguments. So here, function name sum, and then A, B, C. These are actual arguments. You have called the function here. Okay, and after calling, whatever is the definition, according to the definition, calculation will be done, and that value will be returned to this function. Okay, and that value will be now will be replaced by this function, and this will be assigned to this variable s. Okay, so you have to print sum is %d, and sum will be stored in s variable. And after this, the getSketch function and main is closed. So you have seen only two steps here. This is declaration, this is calling. This third party, second part, function definition. Okay, whenever you to define, when you want to define a function, you have to define it outside main, just like declaration. This is also outside the main, and you have to define the function also outside main. So during definition, see the syntax, data type, then function name, then formal arguments. So here int data type, function name is sum, and now these are formal arguments. Okay, here m, n, and p, these are formal arguments, and these are a, b, c are actual arguments. Okay, when you call a function, the values of actual arguments are get copied in formal arguments. So m will set to equal to a, n will be equal to b, and p will be equal to c. So remember this point, when you call a function, all actual arguments are copied to the formal arguments. Now whatever the calculation you do, these calculation will be done on formal arguments, okay, not on actual arguments. So these are formal arguments, and now this is the definition. You have declared a variable k also here, and then you have stored k equal to m plus n plus b. Okay, and m plus m, n, and p are now pointing to the values of a, b, and c. So what is going to calculate here? A plus b plus c. Okay, so k will store the sum. And then c, return statement. This is compulsory if you have a return type int here. Okay, some function do not return anything, and for this you write void return type here. Okay, those functions which do not return anything, okay, those functions return type is void. Okay, and if you have some return type, you must write this statement return here. Okay, when you write this return k, okay, the control goes again to the calling function. Okay, after say the sequence of execution, when you start this program, first of all, code will run from main function. These variables will be declared, then enter 3 numbers will be printed on screen. You will enter all 3 numbers, and when you reach the statement s equal to sum abc, okay, when you call this function, the control goes to the definition. Okay, after this you will not go to this line. After calling, you will directly go to its definition, that is here in green part. So here all the calculation will be done, and then when you return here return statement, again control will go back to the calling function. Okay, so value of k will replace the sum a comma b comma c, and that value of k will be assigned to variable s. Okay, so after this you will print sum is %d s. Okay, then this statement getSketch will be executed. So this is the sequence. Okay, remember it, see it clearly how program execution take place here. Okay, so see the output now. What will be the output of this program? Okay, when you run it, first of all you will be asked to enter 3 numbers here. Okay, suppose you have entered 1, 3, and 7. Okay, so now these are the actual arguments a, b, c, 1, 3, and 7. Okay, during call 1, 3, 7 will be passed to m, n, and p. Okay, so k will be calculated as 1 plus 3 plus 7, that is 11. So return 11 here. Okay, so 11 will go back, and 11 will be assigned to s. Now after this you will reach here, and then it will be printed in the output, sum is 11. So this is the working of a user defined function. Okay, see each step clearly. If you have any doubt, you can ask now. After this, now we will go to the next slide. You can also take screenshot of this slide now. Okay, if you have any doubt, anyone in class? Hello.
No, sir.
See next slide. Okay. Now we are going to study pointers. Okay. What are pointers? Pointer is a special variable in C which stores the address of another variable. Okay. This is the syntax for pointer declaration. You again write here data type, and then you write here, you put a asterisk sign and then write variable. Okay. So for example, int star p. Okay. What does it mean? Here, p is a pointer to an integer value. Okay. You have written here char star k. Okay. It doesn't mean that pointer is type of character. Okay. Remember this thing. It doesn't mean that k is a pointer of character type. It means k is a pointer here which points to a value of character type. Okay. It means k is pointing to the location where some character is stored. Similarly here, float star t. Here t is pointing to the location where a floating value is stored. Okay. So you can declare pointer of any type. Okay. Now let us see pointers with the help of an example. Just a second. Okay, can everyone see this slide? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
audible to everyone? Okay, just tell me yes.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
So, okay, so see this program now. Okay, it is started from void main. See, these are three variables. Okay, we have declared a variable a whose value is 10, character b whose value is r, and float c whose value is 4.5. Okay, so see these are the declaration. Okay, a is 10 and its address is 28004. Okay, now suppose v is declared here whose value is r and its address is 32408. Okay, see this program carefully. Okay, after this we will use pointers to manipulate array, linear array as well as 2D array. Okay, so kindly concentrate on this slide now. See this third variable c whose value is 4.5 and its address is 4004. Now this is declaration for pointer int asterisk sign p. Okay, so p will store the address of an integer value. Okay, so we have written here p equal to and a. Now using this statement, okay, where address of a and is what? Address of operator. See, and is known as address of operator. So well, address of a will be stored to variable p. See its declaration here p. It is storing the address of a, that is 28004. Okay, and also p will have some address because it is also going to be stored in memory. So its address is 82880. Right. After this, again you have declared a pointer to now character value char star k. Okay, so k will store the address of a character value, that is b here, k and b. So see its declaration here, k is now storing the address of 32408 and its address is 20248. Again, now we will declare a pointer to a floating value float star t, and t will now store the address of c. So suppose t is storing address of 40004. So these are the blocks in your memory. Okay, these will be declared like this. Now see this line printf address of a is %u p. Okay, whenever you try to print the address of any variable, you must write here format specifier %u. Okay, you will not use %d, that is for decimal value, but all the pointers are unsigned. Okay, what does unsigned mean? Unsigned means all the pointers are positive in nature. Okay, pointers cannot be negative. Okay, so for positive integers, there is a format specifier in C that is known as %u. Okay, after this statement, value of a is %d, asterisk sign p. Here asterisk is known as value at address operator. Remember this thing. This is known as value at address operator, and this is and unary and is known as address of operator. So when you try to print value of a, you can also write here value of a is %d and a. But instead of a, when you try to print this value of a using pointer, you have to write this statement asterisk p. Okay, this will mean value at the address of P. So what is the value at the address of P? 10. So with this statement also 10 will be printed. You see next line here, you will print address of B. Okay, this is similar to these both statements. Here address of B will be printed using K variable because K is storing the address of B here. After this, you will print value of B using asterisk sign K. Then you will print address of C using T pointer. Then you will print the value of C using T pointer. Okay, start. So this is the program. Okay, guess its output. What will be its output? Tell me. Address of A is what will be printed first? Address of
82880.
okay, at the first line, address of its output will be address of A is 28004. Then next
10.
value of A is 10. Okay, after this
Address of B.
Address of P.
32408
32408. Okay, and then value of B is R. Okay,
R.
because star K prints value at the address of K. So value at the address of K is what? R. Then address of C will be printed, then value of C will be printed. So this will be the print output of this program. Okay, now we are going to store to declare another pointer M here. See, this is declared here int double asterisk sign and then M. This is known as pointer to a pointer. Okay, so what is pointer to a pointer? It means M is a pointer now which will store the address of another pointer. Okay, it cannot store the address of an ordinary variable now. It will store the address of a address of a pointer. So in this case, we are going to store the address of P here. So M is equal to end of P. Similarly, you can see here M is declared now. This is pointer to a pointer. Which pointer? P pointer. Okay, and its address is 282880. So its address is stored here because M is and P. You have written here M equal to and P. Okay, so this block will be reserved in memory whose name is M. Okay, and suppose its address is 25004 again, okay? Because this is also stored in memory. Now see this declaration once again, int triple asterisk sign and N. Okay, this what is this? This is known as pointer to a pointer. Okay, now its declaration means N is a pointer which will store the address of a pointer which will points to another pointer. Okay, so in this way you can go for n number of asterisk sign here. Okay, and you can store the address of another this n in also another pointer. For this you have to use 4 asterisk sign. Okay, and in this way you can go on for n number of asterisk sign. Okay, we will concentrate only up to here 3 asterisk sign pointer to a pointer. Now n will store the address of M here. Okay, see in memory again a block will be reserved n and it will now store address of this M, that is 25004. It will be stored here, okay, and its address for 40448. Okay, now using these pointer to a pointer and pointer to a pointer to a pointer, we will try to manipulate this data. Okay, this value 10. So just take screenshot of this now. I will move these all unnecessary words here, and then we will write only the program for pointer to pointer and pointer to a pointer. Okay. So this is the program now. You can see it clearly. Now this code has been moved here. So we have written this statement: printf address of P is %un M. Okay, you are now going to print address of P. Okay, so address of P stored in which variable, which pointer? M. So with this statement you will print address of P. After this, now say you are going to access this value of A using pointer M. For this you have to write this statement: value of A is %d double asterisk M. Okay, it will mean it means now you are going to print the value using M pointer which points to pointer P. Okay, and its value at the address of this is stored is 10. So 10 will be printed through this statement also. Okay, now see you can print A by just writing here A. You can also print A by writing here star P, and then you can also print A by writing here double asterisk M. Okay, similarly see now next statement: Now you're going to print the address of M. Okay, so address of M is stored in which variable? N. So you have written here address of M is %un N. Okay, after this you are going to access this value A now using this pointer N. So for this you have to write here triple asterisk sign. Okay, are you getting it? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, देखो हम हर एक वेरिएबल की वैल्यू एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, जितने भी आपने पॉइंटर बनाए हो, पॉइंटर टू पॉइंटर बनाए हो, पॉइंटर टू पॉइंटर, आपको उतने ही आप एस्टेरिस्क साइन लगाएंगे तब वो डायरेक्टली उसी वैल्यू को एक्सेस करेगा ए को। यहाँ पर है ना, ठीक है। अगर हम यहाँ पे डबल स्टार एन लगाते तो किसको पॉइंट करता है? ये पी को। ठीक है, सिंगल स्टार एन लगाते तो किसको पॉइंट करता? एम को। इस तरह से। तो अगर ए को हमने एक्सेस करना था तो हमें यहाँ पे ट्रिपल एस्टेरिस्क साइन लगाने थे। Now see this statement. Okay, address of A is %u. You can also write straightforward and A here. Okay, you don't need to write here P. Instead of P, you can directly write here and A. So with this statement, address of A will be printed. Okay, you already know and is known as address of operator. So this will print address of A. Again, this statement. See this statement carefully. Value of A is %d asterisk sign in bracket and A. Using this statement, also what will be printed? Value of A, because you are printing here what is this operator? Value at address. Okay, and address of A. So value at the address of A will be printed here. So again 10 will be printed. Okay, C and A is what? P. Okay, you can also write here star P, or you can replace P with and A. So this statement will also print value of A. So see, when you run this program, take the screenshot of this program and try to run in compiler. This will be the output. Okay, first of all, address of P will be printed, then value of A is 10, then address of M is printed, that is 25004, then value of A is printed using N, that is 10, then address of A is again printed using address of A operator, that is 28004, and then with this statement you will print value of A is 10. So this is the concept of pointer. Okay, I think you get it. Now we will go to the next slide, that is call by value.
सर एक क्वेश्चन था।
हाँ जी बोलो।
सर पॉइंटर में गार्बेज वैल्यू होती है, स्टोर की क्या होता है?
नहीं, पॉइंटर में तो पॉइंटर आपका पॉइंट करेगा किसी वेरिएबल के एड्रेस को।
सर अगर उसको
जैसे अगर आपने
इनिशियलाइज नहीं किया,
हाँ यहाँ पर अगर इनिशियलाइज नहीं किया तो उस केस में इसकी वैल्यू इसकी गार्बेज तो नहीं होगी उस केस में। हाँ ये पॉइंट करेगा किसी लोकेशन को जहाँ पर गार्बेज प्रिंट होगी, है ना। ठीक है, हाँ मैंने कल इसका प्रोग्राम रन किया था। अगर मैंने इसको गलती से पॉइंट नहीं किया और इसकी थ्रू आप स्टार पी प्रिंट करते हो, है ना, सपोज आपने पी इक्वल टू एंड ए नहीं लिखा है यहाँ पर, और आप स्टार पी फिर भी प्रिंट करते हो, तब कोई गार्बेज वैल्यू प्रिंट होगी। मीन्स ये किसी लोकेशन को पॉइंट कर रहा होगा जहाँ पर गार्बेज वैल्यू होगी। आप भी रन करके देखना है ना।
यस सर।
ठीक है, वैसे ही किसी ना किसी पॉइंट किसी लोकेशन को पॉइंट करेगा जहाँ पर कोई वैल्यू होगी तो वो प्रिंट हो जाएगी, एरर नहीं आएगा इस केस में, है ना। कल ही मैंने चेक किया था। ठीक है, सो और कोई क्वेश्चन किसी का? So let's go to next slide, that is call by value. Okay, there are two methods to call a function. First one is call by value and second is call by reference. Okay, first we will see call by value and then we will see call by reference. We will also do all the programs which we have done in this slide, okay, in compiler, and then we will also do program for call by value, and then we will do program for call by reference in compiler. Okay, don't worry, you will understand all these through programming also. See, this is the program for call by value. Okay, this is function declaration here. The name of function is swap b. Okay, it means swap by value. Okay, and you are going to swap two variables which are of integer type. So these arguments are int and int. Okay, and this function will not return anything, it will just swap the value, so its return type is void here. Okay. After this, your main function starts here. Suppose value of a is 5 and value of b is 10. These are initialized here. Okay, you have to swap these values. So these are the declarations. Suppose a is 5 and its address is 2008, and then b is 10, its address is 88004. Okay, this is the call of function. You have called the function here. You just write here function name and then actual arguments. So actual arguments a and b. The function is called here. Okay, and after calling whatever is the computation done, you will print value of a and b in main function. Okay, so this is the statement written here, value of a and b in main. Then you will print value of a equal to %d and then b equal to %d. Okay, so this is the main program. This is closed here. Now you have to define this function swap b a comma b. Okay, so for swapping, this is the code. See here, you have declared during calling, you have declared two variables a and b. These are marked in red. These a and b are different from these a and b. Okay, remember this thing. These a and b are not in the scope of main function. Okay, you have already studied now storage classes. So in storage classes, by default, these variables are automatic. Okay, and automatic variables have scope only within the block. So this a and b are only visible through this block. Okay, outside this function, they will not be accessible to this function swap b. So here a and b are not these variables. These are some other variables, and they will have some another memory location in memory. Just like see here, a equal to 5. Okay, now value of during call, value of actual arguments are copied to the formal argument. This a and b are in red color formal arguments, and in black color these are actual arguments. So a will be this value of a will be copied to red color a, and this value of b will be copied to red color b. So a is 5 here. Okay, and see its address is different. It is 81018. So this a is now different from this a in memory. There is another 2 bytes block. Okay, similarly b will be declared and its address is 4284. Okay, this is also different from this one. So total if an integer consumes 2 bytes, then total number of bytes are reserved here in memory are 8. Okay, so you have to see this point. These a and b are different from these a and b. Now during definition, see this is the definition. You have declared another variable temp. Okay, so again 2 bytes will be reserved. Okay, and location of that block will be named as temp here. Okay, it will contain some garbage value initially here because we have not initialized it, and it is in automatic storage class. So automatic variables get some garbage value. Now we have written here temp equal to a. You know swapping. Okay, we have already discussed it. Okay, just in this example, see the working of this definition here. When you write temp equal to a, okay, it means temp will be now assigned value 5. So whatever with the garbage value here, it will be replaced by 5. Okay, so this statement temp equal to a will make here 5. Then this statement a equal to b. So a equal to b means this 10 will be now copied to 5. This is see, this is call by value. Okay, we will see the difference between what is the difference between call by value and call by reference. Just concentrate here. A equal to b, so value of b will be now copied to a. Okay, after this statement, you have written here b equal to temp. See here, you have written here b equal to temp. Okay, so value of temp will be now assigned to b. Okay. So now copy of a will be given to b. Okay, so see now after this, value of a and b are swapped. Which value of a and b are swapped? Which are in red color. Okay, actual arguments are not interchanged here. See this, these are the actual arguments a and b. These are still same in your memory. Here value of a is 5 and value of b is 10. But during the definition, the value of a and b has been changed, swapped. Okay, that is a has become 10 and b has become here 5. Okay, so what will be the output of this program? Yeah. See, program execution starts from main program. So first time a and b will be given values, then you have called here a and b. Okay, so your control will go to this statement and all interchange has been done here. Then this statement will be printed first after swapping. Okay, so this will be the output after swapping. A equal to %d. Now a has been become here 10 and b has been become here 5. So this will be printed a equal to 10 and b equal to 5. After this curly brace, again control goes back to the calling function. Okay, and after calling function, the next statements will execute now. So what is next statement? Value of a and b in main. So this will be printed, value of a and b in main, and after this statement will now printed. Now say, now tell me what will be printed here? Is it 10 or a value of a is 5?
A is equal to 5.
5.
A equal to 5. Okay, because this a and b are in the scope of this main function a and b. Okay, so this value now a equal to 5 and b equal to 10 will be printed. So see here, actual arguments have not been changed here. Okay, a and b are still same in main function 5 and 10. If you want to change these values also, then you have to use another method of calling function, that is call by reference. Okay, we will see this call by reference now in next slide. You can take screenshot of this program. Okay, then you can run it in your compiler. Okay, so now let's go to another next slide, that is call by reference. Okay, so see, this is the code here. Now this is the declaration for call by reference. Now you have understand what are pointers. Okay, so this is the function name swap r. This means swap by reference. Now during call by reference, you have to pass the address. Okay, now you will not send the values of variables. You will pass the address of those variables. And for passing address, you will store when you pass the addresses, you will store these addresses in some pointer. Okay, right? So here you have to write a pointer type declaration int asterisk sign here. Okay, because these are now 2 pointers. In these 2 pointers, you will store the address of variables. So this is the declaration now, int asterisk 2 times. Okay. Now this is the void main program starts here. This is again a value of a is 5, b is 10. Okay, similar to the previous program. Now here you have called the function using call by reference. See, here you have called swap r address of a comma address of b. In previous program call by value, you have written here swap b a comma b, that is call by value, and this statement is here call by reference, because you are calling the function using references. What is and here reference of a, address of a, and this is reference of, this is address of b. So this is call by reference now. Okay, so again the same code, value of a and b will be printed in main to check if these values are actually interchanged or not. So we have printed here these lines. Now see the definition of this program. Okay, when you write here void swap r int asterisk x int asterisk y here. Okay, see you can also write here a and b, but intentionally here x and y. Okay, so that you can understand the program easily. But you remember, if you have written here a and b, this a and b would be different from this a and b. Okay, so just ignore this now. We have declared here x and y instead of a and b. Okay, we can also declare a and b. There is no problem. Okay, so see, when you write here x, okay, this is pointers. Okay, this is pointer asterisk x. So now it will get value of formal argument and a. So x will get address of a here. So that's why it has been declared here using a pointer. Okay, int star by. Okay, by में किसकी वैल्यू स्टोर होगी? b की. ठीक है, क्योंकि पॉइंटर है तो बाय में अगर हम इसको ऑर्डिनरी देखो, यहाँ पर इंट और इंट अगर हम यहाँ पर डिक्लेयर करते, तब अगर यहाँ पर आप कॉल बाय रेफरेंस करते तो ये कैपेबल नहीं होते इन वैल्यू को स्टोर करने के लिए, क्योंकि एड्रेस को कौन को स्टोर कर सकते हैं यहाँ पर? सिर्फ पॉइंटर ही. इसलिए इसकी जो डिक्लेरेशन थी वो किस टाइप में की थी आपने? पॉइंटर बना के. ठीक है, सो x will be equal to address of a now and y will be equal to address of b. See here, x is address of a, that is 2004, and y is address of b, that is 3008. Okay, this is in main memory, this is in main program variables, then these are your swap r variables x and y. Now see its definition. You have again declared a variable in temp. Okay, now see here temp equal to star x. Okay, now here at this location temp, what will be copied? Value at the address of x. What is star means? Value at address operator. Okay, so value at address of x. What is value at address of x? 5. Okay, so this 5 will be copied. Okay, see it's working here.
ये गाय को चूचियां होती हैं और वो चूचियों को खींच कर हम दूध पाते हैं.
Okay, see the statement. Okay, when you've written here temp equals star x, so I told you value of a will be copied to temp. Okay, what is star x? You can replace this x with what? What is x here? I told you x is getting address of and a. So asterisk and A. It means value at the address of A. So 5 will be copied to 10 variable. So first time this statement will make this change in the memory, and then next statement asterisk sign equal to asterisk by. Okay, so you can replace X with what? And A, okay, because X was storing address of A, and you can replace Y with and B. So value at the address of A is now what? Value at the address of B. So what is value of address of B? 10. Okay, it will go to the value at the address of A. Okay, so now 10 will be copied to A here. See this one. Okay, value at the address of A is now becoming value at the address of B. So 10 will be copied here. See next statement, star B equal to 10. Okay, it means star and B. Okay, value at the address of B, now it will become 10. Okay, so now this temp will be copied to B here. Okay, now see, these are the variables which are in main function. This has been interchanged here. Okay, see here value of A is become 10 and value of B is become 10. So actually we have interchanged the values, okay, in the locations. So when you call a function using reference, the actual change will take place in variables of main function also. Okay, but during call by value, the values will be changed only in swap function. Okay, so see this output. Okay, you will tell what will be the output of this program.
After swapping, A equals 10, B equals 5.
Okay, after swapping, A equal to 10 and B equal to 5. Okay, after this, because we have printed here asterisk X. Okay, that is value at the address of X. So value at the address of X is 10 and value at the address of Y is 10. Okay, so this will be printed. Now control will go to here, and now this line will be printed. Okay, so value of A and B in main. What will be the output here now? What will be the
10
answer
and
of this
five.
statement now?
10
10
and
and
5.
5. 10 and 5. So see here, during call by value, call by reference, these has been interchanged here. So these are two methods, and this is most important question which will be asked in exam. Okay? The difference between call by value and call by reference with some example. So it's better to write this program for of swapping in the examination. Okay? I think you got it. You can screenshot of this. Just a second. You can take screenshot of this slide now. Okay. Then we will do recursion. Okay, so I think it's enough for today. Okay, we will go for recursion tomorrow. Okay. है ना, या करना है अभी recursion? बताओ.
सर टाइम हो गया.
टाइम
कल
हो गया
करेंगे.
अभी, है ना, कोई बात नहीं. ठीक है, इनको आप प्रैक्टिस करना जितना आज तक अभी किया. ठीक है, उसके बाद हम रिकर्शन करेंगे. अगर आप फंक्शन अच्छे से करेंगे तभी आपको रिकर्शन समझ आएगा. इसलिए फंक्शन एक बार फिर से हमने रिवाइज किया है यहाँ पर आज. ठीक है, आई होप आपको सभी को समझ आया होगा अच्छे से. तो
यस
इसके बाद
सर.
हम कल करेंगे, है ना. कल इनके प्रोग्राम भी इम्प्लीमेंट कर लेंगे. ठीक है, जो भी जितने प्रोग्राम हमने आज किए डायरेक्ट मैं प्रोग्राम लिख के रखूंगा, सीधे हम रन करेंगे. उसके बाद हम रिकर्शन करेंगे और फिर उसके प्रोग्राम रन करेंगे. Okay, so it's enough for today. Bye everyone. Take care.
Bye.
सर.